I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
Hey everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of Tales from Godric's Hollow. This is another episode of Butterbeer Banter. This is the fourth round of Butterbeer Banter for your enjoyment. We've been having a lot of fun doing these. Gives us an opportunity to talk about Harry Potter and the world surrounding it without having to stick to the rigid schedule of reading and dissecting and theorizing and trying to remember everything. We just get to have fun, chat it up. That's what we do here at Butterbeer Banter. I am one of your co-hosts. I am the muggle of the show, Josh Brown. I am joined, as always, by the professor for reals this time, Matt Sonnenberg.
Good evening, Josh.
How are you doing, Matt?
Well, I'm doing all right. I'm hoping my voice will hold out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, my wife has been sick all week, so I'm just picking up whatever she had. So
sure, this is gonna be your last hurrah until the next proper episode. So
exactly, throat's a little scratchy, but I should be able to hold out.
It definitely gives some age to your voice, you know. So I feel like you're playing a role here tonight, and that's gonna go well for us, I think.
All right,
yeah.
All right.
This is Butterbeer Banter. Usually we just sit down and we just start talking about something, and trust me, we have fun doing that because I think you and I could talk about random things at any given time. However, tonight we're doing something a little bit special. When I say we, I mean you and the listening audience actually put in a ton of research for this episode, and I get to sit back and just learn some things, and that's pretty cool for me. I don't know how it is for you, but
yeah, I enjoy it. Like, I kind of learned some things. I mean, more statistically, but it's going to be an interesting episode, I think.
Sure.
I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
But before we get too far, I do want to give a quick shout out to Mel B, who sent in a partial list of these spells that we're covering tonight, and then also to Brent, who sent in a list as well, and who was the one who actually suggested that, hey, why don't you turn this into a Butterbeer Banter episode? So thank you, Brent, for the idea. I hope it goes well.
Yeah. As you can see here at Tales from Godric's Hollow, if you have an idea, we try to make it happen. Trust me, I cannot stop thinking about a spin-off podcast about magical creatures and all about them. That is deadly serious, close to actually happening. So
it's true. You already have enough creatures that you could get started.
Yeah,
and be set for a couple months, probably, if a weekly episode or something.
I'll tell you this, Matt, and this is the one thing that's actually genuinely stopping me from doing it already.
Yeah,
is we've learned a lot about specific creatures so far in 3 books and 3 films. Plus we have the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie, which is, you know, just chocked full of magical creatures.
Yes.
My concern would be Googling and doing research on said creatures in fear of finding out information that I don't know about and should not know about quite yet.
Exactly. It would almost have to be an episode like we're going to go through tonight, where you sit back and learn about these creatures some more, and I explain them to you, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
it's tricky, folks, because, you know, as much as I want to just have a platform to talk about my giant squid and all the fun adventures that him and I could go on, I'm a little bit worried that I may be jumping the shark a little bit when it comes to something like that, because, you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to just do something because I'm too excited and then just ruin the whole thing. So there you have it. But hey, if you have any other suggestions, for anything that we could do here on the show, especially for topics of Butterbeer Banter. We are definitely open to discussing that and possibly making it happen if we see fit. So, as Matt said, tonight we're going to sit down and we're going to learn some spells. It's no secret that I have a very difficult time remembering specific spells. I'm decent with knowing or remembering what they do, I think, but if I were to match up names of spells and the equivalent of what they actually do, I think I would fail miserably. Even worse would be trying to just remember the names of the spells, just, off my cuff. Like, that's an impossible task.
Yeah, I would even have some trouble with that. Like, some of them are very apparent.
Right.
Like, some of them almost sound English.
Yes.
But the fact that most of them at least have a Latin base and are very... they still have that old-timey Latin feel to them.
Right.
In my opinion. It can... If you don't know your Latin and your root words, then you're going to have a hard time with some of these.
Yes. Well,
just trying to figure it out.
Unfortunately, the local community college had no open classes for taking Latin, so I am still struggling with that aspect of the podcast, and that's why we're still able to do it weekly, because I haven't put the podcast on hold to go to school yet for it. So
there you go.
Latin's tricky. Even ones that sound very easy to remember seem to just escape me. Like, when we started this podcast, Matt, I don't know if you remember this or not, but one of the first episodes, I was talking about how impossible it was going to be for me to remember character names.
Yeah.
And the major players, I'm pretty confident about remembering their names on a regular basis, but even some just slip by me sometimes, or I get them confused as to who's what where, and once I read through these books about 9 more times, I'll probably be pretty good, but for right now, it's a little tough. But not even close to how tough it is when we're talking about the spells.
I understand.
So that's what we're doing here tonight. We're going to go through. We're going to learn some spells. Earlier this evening, I tweeted out a picture teasing what we were doing tonight with no context whatsoever, which I'm sure people really appreciated, of this nice, beautiful, leather-bound Hogwarts journal, Matt. I found this sucker on Amazon yesterday. I have it. I had it delivered via overnight delivery because we had to do the show tonight, Matt. I had to be ready.
So you're saying you had it delivered by Owl?
Yes, a large, fast one.
Okay.
Yeah, Pig was not involved.
Not Pig, yeah.
Definitely not Errol. This was the work of Hedwig or better. If there is a better owl, I don't know. But yeah, it's beautiful. It's leather bound. It has a nice gold foil logo on the front. It's lined pages in the middle, probably, 200 pages or so. Pretty decent size. Small lines, so we're not going big lines for big writing. You gotta be precise with your writing, folks.
Well, don't want to get your spells mixed up.
No, definitely not. But I feel like the art of handwriting is dying quickly.
It's true. Sad but true.
It is. So I enjoy writing by hand whenever I can.
Oh yeah, I still take all my notes for this show by hand.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all, Matt.
I take a lot. I actually do quite a bit of writing on a weekly basis.
Do you?
I love pen and paper. Yeah.
There's something satisfying to it.
Yep.
And it feels more personal. It feels more genuine and authentic. So that's the purpose. I mean, I could have easily just sat here and typed notes. like any basic old college kid does these days. But no, we're going old school for this one, Matt. Now, I couldn't find a quill that I was super satisfied with. I looked at those, trust me. And there's some quills out there that piqued my interest just a little bit. But it's one of those things, like, I don't want to get them and then not enjoy writing with them, because you can't just write with a pen that just sucks. That's no good. So, regardless, I got my journal. I officially claimed it in the front cover when it says property of. I wrote the Muggle.
Perfect.
Because of course I did. I am on page 1. I have labeled it spells, and we're going to go through all the books and the movies.
Correct.
Because there are differing lists out there for both.
Yeah. And I figured, since we are talking about both the books and the movies on the show, it seems only right to cover both of them on our spell list here.
Yeah. So, without further ado, I say we get started, Matt.
All right. Starting with book 1. For the most part, I think these are going to be in chronological order as we come across them. Some of them, as we get further down the lists, are probably a little bit out of order, but there's only so much I can do.
Sure.
So, Alohomora.
Whew. Now,
would you like me to spell these?
Yes, please, because, I could Google them, Matt.
I know.
But I don't
in
think
case
you want
anybody else out there is making their own spell book.
Yes. Yeah, if you're making your spell book also, send us pictures.
Yeah.
Let us know what they look like.
Or if you already have a spell book, that'd be awesome.
Even better. See, we messed up. We were talking off air about this, but, let's pull back the curtain a little bit. We messed up when we started this podcast greatly. If we knew what we knew now when we started this whole thing, we would have done so many things differently. And one of those things would have been just to keep notes on all the spells that we come across. But at the time,
I keep notes on the new characters each episode.
At the time, we weren't thinking, "Oh, we're going to need this at some point."
Yeah.
Or let's keep detailed notes about all the creatures that we encounter and when they encounter them and all that stuff. No.
Yeah. We'll be keeping track of these things more closely going forward.
We were dumb, Matt. But you know what?
I know.
We're trying to learn from our mistakes here. If only we had a time turner, we could make all this better.
There you go.
All right. So, first spell.
Alohomora.
Yeah.
Alohomora. Let me know if I'm going too fast.
You are good, my friend.
Okay. So, do you remember what that one does?
No.
It's used to unlock things, specifically doors, I believe.
See, we've had this discussion before, and I'm never going to remember that because in my head, all you need is a bow truckle. You don't need no stupid spell.
Oh, we're in Britain here. Britain.
I'm sure he brought bow truckles from Britain. From the UK. Anyway, okay. Unlocks things, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
When was this first used?
The first time I believe we saw it was Hermione unlocking Fluffy's door. The door that was locked that they weren't supposed to be going.
Right. Okay. So it wasn't used before then, huh? I guess my question is, that seems like a very convenient time to just pull out a spell for the very first time.
Well, yeah, that was it, and because we also get the line in there, Ron and Harry just look at her. It's like, how do you know that? Right. And she turns around and says, "Standard book spells, chapter 7."
And
yeah, it's like one of their textbooks for the year.
Okay.
But of course, only Hermione has read these books. So
right. So before I start writing this information down, are you going to be able to remember the first time each one of these spells is used?
I have some references online where I will be able to look up most of them.
Okay. I'm just wondering if I do that now for this first one, is it not going to pan out for the rest of them?
If you want, I will tell you, I didn't have enough time this week before we recorded this, but I am planning on going back and through the books and the movies and writing down precisely where they are found.
Okay.
So I could get you that information eventually.
Yeah.
Even if I don't have it tonight.
But Hermione unlocking Fluffy's door. Okay. I don't remember it being used much after that.
I don't know if we've hit too many more times. It does get used some more, but yeah. I want to say we've used it once or twice. All right, past that.
Oh, I'll believe you. All right, spell number 2.
All right. So, spell number 2 is Leviosa. Wingardium. And the second word, Leviosa, is Leviosa.
This one is pretty much ingrained in my memory at this point.
You remember this scene?
I just feel like I've heard so many people repeat it.
Yes.
Consistently.
Because, they always make a big deal about the pronunciation of it, so.
Yeah. Maybe that's why. Like, it's just so, like, in the movie, like, it's so pronounced, and, like, that's a big deal.
Well, and this one is used multiple times, because it's used in the classroom. Then Ron uses it in a mocking way after class.
Right.
And then it's used again when they're fighting the troll.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at least 3 times in the movie.
Sure. All right. So the official usage for it is to levitate things.
I think that would be a fair description.
Okay. Do you have a better description I could use?
Nope. Levitates. Yeah. It's the description I have says levitates, moves and manipulates the target, similar to telekinesis.
That's too much. Levitate objects.
Yep.
So the first time use was in the classroom, right?
Yep.
Hermione. Or no, everybody, right?
Well, everybody was trying. Hermione was the only one that actually got it to work.
I feel like most of these are going to be Hermione based. With the exception of like the Patronus, like
yep, especially early on. Yeah, did you mention it? Actually all of them in the first book and the first movie were from Hermione.
Well, it's kind of her thing, right? Like,
yep.
She's really good at spells.
Yeah, she's like the only one that's actually learned them so far.
Yeah. I think that's why she's a little bit jealous of Harry and his Patronus.
Yep, something she can't do.
Yet. All right.
Number 3. Petrificus Totalis.
Whoa, I do not remember that one.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Okay.
So it's Petrifiscus. Totalis is Totalus.
Something to do with petrification?
There you go.
All right.
Total petrification. This was Hermione petrifying Neville.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Forgot she did that. Poor
I believe that's where we started getting poor Neville.
First time used.
It's also what earned Neville 10 points.
For being petrified?
Yeah, because he stood up to his friends.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. He was trying to stop them from going out again. Oh, sorry, Neville.
That was a deciding 10 points, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, oddly enough, those are the only 3 spells we hear in the first book.
Huh.
We get some descriptions of others or see the results of some others, but they aren't ever actually like mentioned by name.
Okay.
And that's why I'm not going to put them in this list right now.
Okay.
I know some other people's lists are different, and they would argue differently, but that's how I think I want to run this list. It makes most sense to me.
Yeah. And as we talked about it kind of off air again, we want to just learn about the spells that I actually know about or should remember, or that like we have actually use case for. We've seen them in action. We've seen them used or at least attempted, and we know what they do and whatnot, just for the sake of me not trying to get too far ahead of myself here.
Yep. Yeah. Because it's for these instances, we've had a couple of them already. Like we run across a spell or a charm or something, and it's like, and you've asked me on the show, it's like, have we run across this yet?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is why we're doing this.
Right. Next time I ask that question, Matt, you're just going to say, pull out your journal. You should know this by now. Okay.
So, moving on to the movie.
Yes.
First movie then.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 more spells that are used in the movie. So, we see the results of these basically in the book, but we don't necessarily have the spell names, or it was done slightly differently in the book. Like something was different that they didn't use a spell in the book.
Okay.
Or give the spell a name.
Fair enough.
So the first one is...
Well, hold on. My question before we get started with that.
Yeah.
So how did they, when they made the movie, know that these spells existed? Did they make them up, or is it because that they made the movie after several books had already been released that they're mentioned in books later on? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So most of them, at least these early ones, aren't really ever used again.
Okay.
And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if they consulted JK.
Because I was going to say, I don't think they would just have permission to just make up spells as they saw fit.
Yeah. Like, I know JK was fairly involved with the movies. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they talked to her and said, well, okay, what would you call this one? We want to verbalize this.
Sure.
And that's a lot of what happened is, like, verbalizing spells makes for better movies.
Right.
When you're just reading it, you can read about the description and what happens. You don't really care what the spell is called so much.
Sure.
But when you're doing it in the movie, if you just had people running around pointing sticks at other people and things happened, it'd be like, what was that?
Right.
So that's a big reason, I think, at least, why a lot of these get names for the movies.
Okay.
And like as we go through, you'll see some of them, or you'll be able to hopefully you can remember what the differences are.
Sure.
So the first one we have is Lacarnum Inflammare. So this is spelled LACARNUM.
Okay.
And then Inflammare is INFLAMARAE.
All right.
So this is one, like, I never would have been able to pick out, like, the actual words that she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, okay, I probably could have got Inflammare, but the first word, I had no clue what it was.
Sure.
But this is when Hermione is lighting Snape's cloak on fire.
Oh.
At the Quidditch match.
Okay, this is her little blue flame spell.
In the book, it's a little blue flame. In the movie, She does not have a flame in a jar.
Right.
The flame is not even blue, which is bothersome a little bit. But most people think that it's at least somehow related to that little blue flame because that's what it's supposed to be imitating in the movie.
Okay. So it's a fire spell then, essentially?
Yeah, the description I have says it sends a ball of fire from the wand.
Create a ball of fire.
Yeah, it's used at such close range that, I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't really tell it's sending a ball of fire. The tip of her wand is right by his cloak. It just starts on fire.
Sure. Hermione. Man, I need to create shorthand for Hermione's name.
I always have that problem too. Whenever I have to write her name or type her name, it's like, why can't you just have a shorter name? But I always feel bad not writing things all the way out.
Sure.
So.
Well, especially people's names.
Yep.
Okay. Lacarnum inflammare.
And you'll probably never have to use that one again.
No. What does the lacarnum part of it mean? Like the inflammare, definitely.
Yep.
Flame. I get that.
Yeah,
that's derived from. What's the lacarnum part?
I believe it comes from the Latin lacerna, meaning cloak.
Oh, so
they specifically
literally setting a cloak on fire.
Yeah, and you see that's what I mean. It's like it was definitely made for the movie,
right?
Made for this instance, but I mean, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility because you'll see as we go along, even this next spell that we're going to look at, there are spells that sound similar or they're 2-word, and it's like one word is the verb and one word is the noun.
Yeah.
So it's like, this one is setting the cloak on fire. Our next one, you may remember, Oculus Reparo.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory, too.
Sure. Let's spell it, though.
Yes. Oculus.
Okay.
Reparo.
And this is repairing your VR headset.
You got it.
Glasses.
Harry's just playing Quidditch in VR.
Glasses repair spell.
Yes.
Repairing
so
like
I even have that. It's just this spell is a variation of Reparo, and so like Reparo is your basic mending spell. And then it can be, depending like on what you're using it on, it can have another word with it,
sure.
Potentially.
Huh.
But like I said, that as far as I can remember, that's just a movie thing. And so,
right,
it's they were using it in that specific instance, and that's why they gave it that name.
And this was Hermione fixing Harry's glasses, right?
Correct.
Of course. Fixes Harry's glasses. All right.
So then our third spell from the movie, in my opinion, was a little bit unnecessary, but it's because the whole resolution to the situation was fabricated for the movie. It had a completely different resolution in the book. But the spell is Lumus Solem. So we'll spell it for you quick. It's Lumos. And Solem is Solem.
Okay. I do not remember this one.
So it essentially means light of the sun. It was used down in the chamber when they ran into the devil's snare. The plant that just kind of started reaching up and grabbing them.
Yes.
And in the book,
I'm
all
sorry.
they had to...
You said chamber, so then I started thinking. I was like, "Wait, are we on the Chamber of Secrets already? Where did I miss something here?"
No.
I started panicking because then I all of a sudden thought that I had forgotten the order of the books, and I just had a mental breakdown in my head. So
Sure.
don't say the word chamber, Matt, unless we're talking about book 2.
I'm sorry. I didn't have a better word for it. Beneath the trapdoor.
Down in the dungeons.
Dungeon, there you go.
Okay. Sorry. No, continue. I'm sorry. I was just explaining why I was having a little mental breakdown as you were talking.
Yes.
Devil's Snare.
So yeah, the Devil's Snare, and like they just relaxed, and it Hermione slipped through, and then Harry slipped through, and then Ron wasn't relaxing, and so Hermione had this little little rhyme or whatever she remembered from some book that also wasn't in the book, but basically said that the Devil's Snare doesn't like sunlight. And so she went with Loomis Solem to create this sunlight and free Ron.
All right. Create sunlight. Yeah, I definitely don't remember that one. I mean, now that you described it, sure, but...
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they definitely took some liberties in adding a few more. Now, did they use the other 3 for sure, though? The 3 from the book, they used those in the movie as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, they generally speaking, the ones that they used in the book, they don't take out. There are a few exceptions that, once again, we'll run into some of them in book 2 already, but for the most part, the ones that a lot of people know and that will be used again, like they made sure to use those in the movie.
Okay.
Otherwise, the movie just kind of added some.
Sure.
Makes sense. To what the book had.
Again, for that visual and audible, just hammering the point home that these kids are wizards.
Yep.
Or trying to be.
All right. You ready for book 2?
Oh, I'm so ready.
All right. Book 2, Chamber of Secrets.
Hey, now we're talking chambers.
So there were 2 in this book that I had on the list for the longest time because they're mentioned by name, but they weren't actually used, and they kind of gave a description of what was happening. It was people talking about things that had happened in the past.
Okay.
This happened, but so just in case anybody's wondering, it was the Imperious Curse and the I was going to look this one up because I wasn't sure on the pronunciation. Of course, it doesn't give me a pronunciation for that.
No. Just give it the old Lockhart educated guess.
Well, oddly enough, it is Lockhart. Yeah.
Matt, let's be real. Anything that you name from this book probably has something to do with Lockhart.
Yeah, we're going to get into some of that, too.
God, he's all over the place.
So it's like the Homorphous charm. It's Lockhart bragging that about something he used back in one of his books, ending the werewolf attacks and stuff.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nah.
So, yeah. I can tell you that I'll tell you now, just because the Imperious Curse, we'll get to that in book 4. So,
okay, fair enough.
I'm not too worried about it.
Sure,
it'll come up again.
Yeah. No, I think it's fair that we just cover the ones that we've actually seen in action, not just heard about being used before. So,
all right. So the first one we'll cover is okay. A lot of these, like I said, are Lockhart.
Okay.
And so it's Lockhart rattling off these spells, and they never quite go right. And so there is some conjecture as to whether or not they are actually spells, or if he's saying them right, or if he's just not doing them right. But
now that's interesting.
Like every list that follows Harry Potter spells has them on there, and it's on the official wiki and everything. Like, I don't feel bad putting them in this list, but
should I put
just
like
in
an
case you want,
asterisk next to them?
I was gonna say, just in case you want to put a little note, this was a Lockhart thing, so
I'll just put a frowny face.
So the first one was Pescipitsky Pestronomy.
Oh God, this is going to be brutal. Oh, can we just skip to book 3?
No, because there are definitely some in book 2 that you need.
All right. Let's try that one again.
All right, so this is Peski. This is all one word yet.
Of course it is.
What?
Of course it is.
Okay. Piksi.
Okay.
So that was the Pesky. Pixie. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
And then the second word is Pesternomi.
Matt, I'm like being flooded with just like anger right now. I'm just thinking about how incompetent this professor was.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Okay. I'll do my best.
So that was one he was trying to use to get the pixies back in their cage after he released them into the class.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously that didn't
to
work.
Recapture pixies. Would that be
so yeah, the one time it was used, it had absolutely no effect. It was used by Lockhart in an attempt to remove Cornish pixies.
Okay. Removing Cornish pixies. Asterisks. I'll just put that in quotes. Allegedly.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So then one you've heard a lot, actually. Expelliarmus.
Okay.
This one you should definitely remember, and hopefully you remember what it does. But this is spelled Expelliarmus.
Okay. Expelling something. Making it go away.
Specifically wands, I believe. I think can be used for anything that they're holding.
Right.
But
it's kind of like a force push in Star Wars.
I guess, yeah.
Because they don't. The things don't disappear, right?
No.
Okay. No. They just get pushed away, forcing something away. I'm trying to come up with a definition here, Matt, or an explanation as to what it does.
Causes whatever the victim is holding to fly away.
I like how they label them as victims.
Knocks out an opponent if used too forcefully.
Okay.
Because yeah, that is definitely mentioned. Like we see it's obviously it's easier to see in the movie, but it's mentioned in the book as well that it does have the ability to knock people over when it's used.
Sure.
Not just necessarily knock things out of their hand, but it can knock them over as well.
Was this first used in the dueling class?
Yeah, that's the first time we saw it was in the dueling club. Yep.
All right, dueling club. That's right. I forgot it was an extracurricular activity.
Yep.
All right. We've definitely seen that used after.
Yes, especially in book 3.
Yeah.
When they're in the Shrieking Shack, like there's Expelliarmus going all over the place. Those wands got so mixed up.
Yeah.
These next few also took place in the dueling club.
Okay.
There are a few more that were only in the movie. Like I said, the actions, the result of these spells we see in the book.
Okay.
But they were just described as like Snape did this and Lockhart did this, but it didn't give us the names of the spells, so they gave them names in the movie. But we'll get to those later.
Okay.
So the next one is Rictus Sempra.
Whew. All right.
All one word.
Okay.
RIC.
Okay.
TUSEMPRA.
All right. No clue. What is hold on.
Yep.
Snake. Does that have something to do with the snake?
Nope.
Oh, dang it.
That one is a little more obvious.
Okay.
So this is the one that is supposed to be the tickling charm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't going to get that.
So we'll see this ending, the Sempra, come up a couple more times.
Okay.
I don't know if do we hit them tonight yet? Maybe book 4 or 5 that I'm thinking of. But the Sempra part of it means always.
Okay.
And so then the other part of it, in this case, Rictu, comes from some Latin word, rictus, meaning the expanse of an open mouth.
So making somebody laugh then.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Weird.
That's one thing I always find interesting is the etymology of these words. Is
Sure.
Where did J.K. go for these? Like, how is she explaining this is a tickling charm? Oh,
right.
Always laughing. Okay.
Yeah. So who was that first used by?
That was first used by Harry on Draco in the Dueling Club.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yep. So then the next one is also it's the one that Draco sent back at Harry after he put that one on him.
Sure.
This is Turen. Shoot.
Ooh.
I actually practiced this one before. Now I'm going to screw it up. Tarantalegra.
Tarantalegra?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all one word again.
Okay.
Taran Tallegra.
Tarantalegra. All right.
And this makes the victim's legs dance uncontrollably.
Mm.
It's a mixture of the Tarantella dance and Allegro,
Okay.
which means quick.
Sure.
So, like I said, yeah, that was Draco retaliating.
Now that was not in the movie, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
They went so the Rictus Sempra was in the movie.
Yes.
But it didn't seem to have much effect besides knocking Draco backwards.
Right.
And then he retaliated in the movie right away with Serpent Sortia.
Is that the next one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is SERPENSORTIA.
And that
So
creates a snake?
Yeah, this is the one you were thinking of.
Mm-hmm. Obviously. Serpent. Creates a snake. Do you have control as to what kind of snake you actually create?
Not to my knowledge. Yeah, conjures a serpent from the spellcaster's wand. Yeah.
Okay. And Draco used that, right?
Yep. I mean, he's a Slytherin. Come on.
I know. I couldn't remember. Well, Snape was also involved in doing.
Of course, he's gonna know the spell that causes.
I'm pretty sure that's in their house motto.
Yeah. So then there is the sequence of events after that I'm talking about, where we see like Lockhart send the snake flying in the air, and then Snape makes the snake disappear.
Right.
And those aren't given names in the book.
Okay.
We have names for them in the movie.
Okay.
But the last one we see in the book then is Finite Incantatum. Which I always almost think this is like cheating. It feels like cheating. It is listed as a general counterspell. Terminates all spell effects in the vicinity of the caster. Like, okay. It's great for at school like this, where they're in this dueling club and everybody's going at things and messing everybody else up, and then Snape just comes in and cleans it all up in one spell.
Sure. I wonder if there's a counter to that spell. You'd think there has to be, right?
You'd think so, but who knows?
Yeah.
So this one, can you spell finite? Finite.
Yes. Yes. I just didn't know if it was one word or two.
2 words.
Okay.
And then incantatum is INCANTATEM.
All right. So that just prevents any other spells from being used. Shuts it down.
No, and it basically undoes the effects of
that's right. Okay.
spells that had been done.
Undoes all other.
Yeah. So like when people were laughing uncontrollably or dancing uncontrollably, it stopped all that.
Snape dueling club. Yeah, we got a lot of spells in from that dueling club.
We did, yeah. That like I actually went back to those pages and like, did they really just kind of like within like 3 pages we learned like half a dozen? I'm like, all right.
Yeah, all right.
I guess that's the place to do it.
Sure. All right. That was it from the book?
No. That was it from the dueling club.
Oh, okay.
3 more from the book.
Okay.
So the next one is Operisum. Or Opericium. There we go.
Opericium. Okay.
So it's one word. APARECIUM. And so this is one, we didn't see anything happen in the book.
Okay.
But it was something Hermione tried to use.
Is this the apparate charm?
No.
Or spell?
No. It's supposed to reverse concealing charms.
Oh.
So can presumably render invisible ink visible, it says as well. Okay. This is when they got the diary.
Right.
And Hermione was trying to figure out, all the pages look blank, so she's trying to make something appear.
Sure.
So something was concealed or using invisible ink. She thought this spell should have done it.
Okay. And it did not work.
Well, it didn't work because there wasn't anything being concealed there.
Right.
It was she used the wrong spell. Like,
yes. Well, yeah. Because she didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Which probably drove her crazy. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah. I'm sure. It's like I've practiced this spell. It should work. But
okay.
The next one is Lumos. So
Lumos. There
you go. We've already had Lumos Solem, which is more or less a variation, saying I want not just light but sunlight.
Right.
So Lumos specifically just says it makes the tip of your wand light up.
Sure.
So that it specifically more or less turning your wand into a flashlight. That's what I always think.
Probably one of the most used ones throughout the series, huh?
it comes in handy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a dark castle most of the time, and they don't have electricity. So at night, Lumos. There you go.
When was it first used, though?
The first time that we would have seen it is constantly throughout the series. Yeah, thanks. Click in farther.
This is the one you were worried about.
Let's see. 93, is that the earliest we get? It can't be the earliest. Oh no, I suppose it could be. Harry uses his charm to follow the trail of spiders leading into the Forbidden Forest.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Harry.
Yeah, that would do it. I forgot we were in the second book already. I was thinking the first book yet. That's why I couldn't come up with anything. Let's see. So then we just have one more left from the book.
I think I'm also most familiar with that because of Lego Dimensions.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Does Harry have it in there?
Uh-huh. So does Newt and Tina.
Okay.
I believe they all do, yeah. So in like dark area that you can't get in because it's too dark, you push a button and they say Lumos, and
oh, okay. To be perfectly honest, a lot of times when I'm playing Dimensions now, I have the sound on the game turned down because I'm listening to a podcast.
Sure, fair enough.
So I don't always hear what they're saying. But yeah, all of the Harry Potter characters can do that then, actually.
Yeah.
Even Voldemort can do that.
Yes. So they specifically say Lumos all the time. I'm like, I know. Okay.
That explained it. But so then the final one we have from book 2 is Obliviate. It's Obliviate.
And this
you remember this one?
The spell to make everybody happy once again.
Yeah, it's a little too meta, but sure.
If used on the right person.
Yes.
It's the memory charm.
Memory charm used to hide a memory of a particular event.
It's the Men in Black. Memory
very specific as to what you're making them forget.
Erases a memory.
So yeah, the first time we see it actually is Lockhart trying to use it with Ron's wand and it backfires. So,
oh, Lockhart.
Yeah. Oh. So then we move on to the movie, which if someone had asked me, it's like, how many more spells are in the movie? I wouldn't even come close. We almost double our list.
Whoa.
By adding the movie.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Flip a page here, Matt. Movie 2.
All right. So, actually, wait a minute. Was that one in the book? Now I'm questioning things.
Nope. I already wrote movie.
I know.
Can't go back.
So, the spell is Immobilis.
Okay.
It's IMMOBULUS.
Okay.
And do you remember what that one does? Or can you figure out what that one does or where it might have been used?
Sounds like something to do with movement or a vehicle, a car.
Okay. So, yeah, it's immobilizing.
Immobilizing. Okay. Then I do not remember what it was used for.
This is what Hermione used then to clean up the Cornish pixies.
Oh, okay.
After Lockhart failed.
Gotcha.
With his pesky pixie spell. So yeah, this is what we saw in the movie when she uses it, and like the whole room just like freezes.
Right.
Or at least all the pixies do. So let's see. Renders living targets immobile. So yeah, it's a freezing charm.
Sure.
But yeah. The incantation was mentioned in film adaptations. Okay, so I guess it was film only. For some reason, I'm trying to remember how did they describe it in the book, or did they just?
They just said that they were left to clean up the mess.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't really go into detail
explain
about
how.
No.
But it made a fun movie scene.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay.
Fair enough. All right. Then we have Arania Exume.
All right.
This is Arania. It's the first word.
Okay.
And then Exume is Exume.
Okay.
So this is the spell that Harry uses. Well, actually, no, I take that back. Well, Harry does use it, but we first see it in the flashback when Harry's in the diary.
Okay.
So Tom Riddle uses it.
Okay. What does
He it's supposed to knock back acromantulas, which big spiders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Knocks.
Presumably all other arachnids as well. So if you want to say all spiders, it's fine.
Nope, I'm writing big spiders.
All right. Because I mean that's where we see Harry use it too. Then because he uses it in the forest when they're trying to run away.
Right. Tom Riddle in flashback. All right.
One I probably could have given you right before that because we also saw it in the flashback is System Apario.
Okay.
This is CISTEM. And the second word is APARIO.
Okay, making something appear.
Well, it's actually trying to open something.
Open. Okay.
So this is what Riddle uses to open the chest that Hagrid is trying to hide.
Okay.
So he opens it with that spell, and then, well, what we assume then is Aragog runs out and he tries to blast it with Arania Exume.
Right. Okay.
So those two were both in the flashback with Riddle.
Okay.
Let's see. Then we had one in Transfiguration class. We see Professor McGonagall show them how to use it. She turns some kind of bird into like a goblet or a chalice.
Right. Okay.
And then Ron also tries it, but then his rat like turns into a furry goblet with a tail.
Yeah.
So this is Veraverto.
Okay.
2 words. First one is VERA.
Okay.
Second word is VERTO.
Okay.
So this is one I'm going with other people spelling on because I can never quite understand what McGonagall said.
Sure. Yeah. Those thick accents, man, are hard to pick up sometimes.
Yeah. So the description we have is turns animals into water goblets.
Specifically, just water goblets, huh?
Because that's all we see. Like,
right.
we see McGonagall do it, and it's this goblet, and then Ron tries, and it's a similar goblet shape, but like I said, it's still furry and has a tail. But yeah, that's the best we got, because that's really the only time we see this one used.
Right.
It's like, when are you going to use that? You're not going to use that in battle, turn an animal into a goblet.
Unless you need a goblet of fire, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how that turns out.
I have a feeling I already know. It doesn't.
So then we have a couple more from the dueling club.
Okay.
In the movie.
All right, lay them on me.
So we have Verte Statum.
Okay.
Is EVE RTE. And the second word is STATUM.
Verte Statum. Okay.
So this is Draco against Harry. So I believe... Okay, so there was one more interaction before the snake, I guess.
Okay.
So, yeah. And it basically, yeah, just throws the victim backwards.
Okay.
Verte means to throw out, and statua means image. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, they made these up for the movie, so.
Sure. And that
they
Draco used that on Harry?
Correct.
Okay. Alrighty.
And then, let's see. So then, yeah, he was... I forget... What? Oh, okay. So Harry must have used, like, Expelliarmus and Rictus Tempora, or something like that. And then... So then Draco's second one was the Serpent Sortia. So there's a snake out there now.
Right. So
then we get Lockhart trying to take care of it with Alarte Ascendere.
Okay.
So this is ALARTE.
Okay.
Second word is ASCENDARE.
Okay.
So he, like, I've always thought that he, like, it's close to like incendiary, like he's trying to like burn it up or something. But he, like, we get this ascend, and so
right.
The description of this one is shoots the target high into the air.
Okay.
Because that's what we see happen in the movie, and this is the only reference we have for this spell.
Right.
So, that is Lockhart's gaff once again. And then we have Snape come back with, let me try to look up the pronunciation on this one again, because it's never quite how I want it to be.
Right.
Maybe it is closer than I thought. Okay. Vipera evanesca.
Okay.
So it's Viper, Vipera.
Okay.
Got to make it sound Latin.
Of course.
And evanesca is EVANESCA.
Okay.
So this is basically the counter spell for Serpent Sortia, and it from the description or the etymology, it sounds like it should make the snake disappear or vanish.
Mm-hmm.
But as we see in the movie, it makes the snake kind of smolder and burn up.
Right. Well, in Snape we trust, right?
Yeah, of course. He, as much trouble as he can cause, he always seems to have the cure for stuff too.
Well, he's actually competent, so
that's true.
Okay.
Oh, then we have another great one from Lockhart.
Okay.
Brachium amendo.
Brachium amendo.
It's BRACHIUM.
Okay.
Amendo is EMENDO.
All right. What's that supposed to do?
Yeah, go for it.
No, I said, what's that supposed to do?
Okay. Well, the literal translation basically is fix or mend the forearm. Which is literally what he was trying to do.
Yes.
But he removed all the bones from Harry's arm. So, if used correctly, it is claimed that this spell will heal broken bones. This theory is supported by the entomology, but the only example we see is done unsuccessfully. So, take it for what you may.
Right. You can't heal broken bones if they don't exist. If they're not there.
Yeah. And then the last one we have to talk about is, it's a little weird because in the book, it's done non-verbally. In the movie, you're going to love talking about this one, I know.
All right.
Ron just gives us eat slugs.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I blocked that out from my memory.
I know.
Oh,
But it's technically a spell, and we technically saw it.
All right. We technically have to cover it. Begrudgingly, might I add.
So this one's kind of weird because we don't have the name of the spell in the book. We don't even get a technical name of the spell in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
To get the actual name of the spell, we have to go to the video game.
Okay.
So in Lego Harry Potter, they give it the name of Slugulus Eructo.
That sounds about right.
Yep. So this is SULG ULUS, and Eructo is ERUCTO.
Barfing slugs.
You got it. Your favorite.
So gross.
Write that in the margin. Favorite spell ever.
I'm going to highlight it and circle it and put some stickers around this.
Yay.
Barfing slugs.
All right. So that's all we have for movie 2.
So, remind me who used it on Ron?
That was Ron. It backfired because of his broken wand.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Ron was attempting to use it on Draco.
Right. Okay.
But it backfired, and Ron used it on himself.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, book 3.
Cruising along here.
We are. Almost there. Almost caught up, I should say.
Book 3. Prisoner of Azkaban.
Prisoner of Azkaban, yes. And we get Lupin, who also knows what he's doing.
Yes.
So his spells actually work.
Such a refreshing change.
Actually, yeah. A great deal of these, now they mention, are like, that's weird. In book 1, they're like all Hermione. Book 2 is a lot of Lockhart, but a lot of failed Lockhart. And book 3 is a lot of Lupin.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, but interesting to look at it that way.
Snape.
It's true. It's true.
All right.
The first one is Wadiwasi.
Wadiwasi.
WADDI. This is all one word.
Okay.
WASI.
All right.
Wadiwasi. And it appears to launch small objects through the air. We saw Lupin use it when Peeves was putting the gum in the lock.
Oh, okay.
And he used it to shoot the gum out of the lock back at Peeves.
Right.
So that's all we know about it, is that it just shoots stuff from one place to another. Yeah. There's that one is kind of odd because it's like the etymology is like there are many possibilities as to the etymology. Least of all, the English wad, as in wad of gum. Like,
all right.
Okay.
Whatever you say, JK.
Yep. Next one you should recognize is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So this is RIDDIKULUS.
KLU. What? I'm sorry. I somehow. RIDDIK.
ULUS.
There we go. Okay.
Ridiculous.
Got ahead of myself. Fighting a boggart.
There you go.
Yeah.
Was
it to defeat a boggart or attack a boggart?
A spell used when fighting a boggart. Ridiculous forces the boggart to take the appearance of an object the caster is focusing on.
Okay. Yeah,
so
fight a boggart, I guess.
Yeah. It's just in defense of a boggart, I guess. One of the best easiest spells, probably.
Sure. So, did Lupin do it first? Or Neville? Neville actually used it first, right?
I think Neville, definitely in the movie.
Right.
And I want to say it probably had to be in the book, too, because otherwise we would have seen Lupin's moon show up sooner.
Right.
If he tried to use it.
Like Lupin told him what to say.
Yeah, and because then he opened the wardrobe where he was keeping it right before Neville. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure Neville was the first one. It was that big confidence booster that he needed.
Right. I have a feeling that might be the only time we say this in this entire series.
Neville was the first one to do this.
A successful spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have Impervious.
Okay.
IMPERVIUS. And I know we had a discussion about this one, but do you remember it?
Impervious. Oh boy. Lupin. What was Lupin doing?
It's actually not Lupin.
Impervious. Is this no, I have no idea.
Okay, this is Hermione again.
Okay.
She used it on Harry's glasses.
Oh.
During the Quidditch match, when it was all rainy and gross, and he couldn't see.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. So this spell makes something repel substances and outside forces, including water, because that's what we saw it used on.
Right. Repel substances.
Yeah, she used it in the Quidditch match, and I think that's the only place we've seen it used so far. So,
right. Well, it's such a very specific.
Well, it definitely has its uses.
Yeah, I guess so.
But, and I believe this is one we will see again. So,
okay.
Oddly enough, as odd as it may seem, yeah. Next one. There is a little bit of a question as to if it can be called a spell or not.
Controversy. I like it.
So it's Descendium.
Okay.
It's I'll walk you through it first.
Okay.
I would put it down.
You know what? I trust your opinion. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's DISSENDIUM.
Okay.
So this is when after Harry gets the map from Fred and George, and they tell him about the what is a humpback witch or something? The statue, the one-eye witch. There you go.
Yeah.
He needs to go tap and say Descendium, or actually, I think the map might tell him that. Or maybe they do in the book. I don't remember now. But yeah, so the question is it really a spell or
like a secret
password?
Yeah.
But at the same time, the map shows him, it tells him to tap his wand on the statue when he says it.
Right, which you wouldn't have to do with the password.
Exactly. It makes it like you don't have to do that to like get into Gryffindor Tower. You just need the password and the picture opens.
Yeah.
So the fact that the wand is involved makes it feel more like a spell of some sort.
All right. So it just opens up a passageway?
Yeah, as far as we know.
Okay. I think
So
it qualifies.
What's that?
I think it qualifies.
Like I said, I'd put it on the list.
Yeah.
Then we have Mobiliarbus.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful.
All one word.
Sure.
Mobiliarbus.
All right.
So this is, if you can't figure it out, mobile. Once again, we've kind of had that before, and arbus, which is referencing like arbor or tree.
Okay.
Which Hermione uses this to move the tree to block their view when they're in the Three Broomsticks.
Right. Okay.
And Harry's not supposed to be there.
Sure.
And she moves this between them and the teacher sitting at the other table. So she levitated. It says levitates and move an object. You kind of wonder, because it's so specific, and we have another similar spell later.
We're going to put moves plant life.
Yeah, like I would say it almost is meant to move trees or plants. Yeah.
Three broomsticks. Oh, okay.
So then, in the Three Broomsticks, this is one kind of like the Imperio and Amorphous charms that we talked about before. Mm-hmm. The Fidelius charm.
Okay.
This was the one that was used, the whole Secret Keeper thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Where they were going to use Sirius as their Secret Keeper.
Sure.
Then switch to Peter and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's the Fidelius charm.
Okay.
Once again, so we have the name of it, but we didn't actually see it used. So, do you want to put that in there?
Nope.
All right.
I want to see him in action, Matt.
All right. Then we'll move on to Expecto Patronum.
Hey, I know that one.
There you go. EXPECTO.
Okay.
PATRONUM.
The Patronus spell.
There you go. I think anyone who knows anything about Harry Potter should know what that does.
Well,
thank you.
If you've gotten this far into it.
Well, yes. Anyone who's read the third book should have a very good idea of what this does. Mm-hmm. It's like the whole resolution. Why Harry is still alive.
Does Lupin ever use it? I can't remember. Or does he just tell Harry how to?
Yeah, he just tells Harry.
He never shows Lupin actually doing it, right?
Like, I can't remember Lupin ever doing it.
Yeah, because then
the only thing would be if he actually like showed him how to do it in the book. Or no, I take it back. 100%. He uses it on the train.
Oh, that's right.
When the first Dementor comes there,
Yeah.
he might actually use it non-verbally on the train.
I don't remember him saying words. Because there was just like the flash of light.
Yep, but he definitely uses it.
Right. I wonder what his Patronus is. Interesting.
It is interesting.
Oh, Matt, you know something. All right. Get me all excited about Patronus charms.
All right. So you have Expecto Patronum.
Yep.
All set?
Yep, we're all good.
Next one is Nox. Nox.
Huh.
Super simple.
Yeah.
And you probably don't remember it.
Not at all.
Now, however, if you knew Latin, you might know when it comes into play.
Okay.
Or what it means.
All right.
So Nox simply means night. So this is how you turn off Lumos.
Oh. Okay.
We don't actually see it in the book until Harry and Hermione going into through the tunnel. They have their wands on with Lumos. They get into the Shrieking Shack, and it's lighter out there, so they use Nox. Turn it off.
In the movie, did we see Snape use it when he's in the hallway with Harry?
I'm trying to remember if he actually speaks it there, or if we actually... Yeah.
Okay.
It might just happen there.
Okay.
But
if not, then it was Hermione.
Well, both Harry and Hermione use it in the Shrieking Shack because they both had their wands lit.
Okay.
So yeah, then these next couple are right before or as they're leaving the Shrieking Shack. The first one we have is Ferula. This is Ferula.
All right.
So this means the definition description is creates a bandage or a bandage and a splint. Lupin used it to wrap up Ron's broken leg. Yeah. Before they left the Shrieking Shack.
Right.
So once again, good old Lupin.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the one that I was saying was very similar to the one we mentioned earlier. So we had Mobiliarbus, and so now we have Mobilicorpus.
All right.
So this is Mobilicorpus. It's all
moving a dead body.
Yep, levitates and moves bodies. In this case, it wasn't actually dead, but it obviously could be moving a dead body. But because this is actually moving Snape around, which of course was only used in the book because they changed that in the movie. So, but yeah, there's even a note here that says this could be variations of the same spell since they share the same prefix there.
Sure.
It's like, moving. What do you want to move? I want to move a tree. I want to move a body.
Yeah, maybe you have to be like it's a different spell because you have to be more gentle with a living or possibly dead person. You know.
Exactly, and like that's why the first one is like levitates and moves an object. Like you just want to move the whole object, whereas Mobilicorpus definitely, like I think it actually like mentioned, like it picked him up like he was had invisible strings tied to his wrists and ankles. I think it was something like that. And so yeah, it definitely had a different effect than just moving it.
Remind me, was it Lupin or was it Sirius?
Sirius used that one.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Because Lupin was out front with Pettigrew and Ron.
Right. Yeah.
And then Sirius was in the back talking to Harry, and he just let his Snape bump up against the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, don't really care. I'm having a conversation here.
All right.
And then the last one we had mentioned, which you're probably not going to add to the list, is the Confundus charm. When Snape is trying to explain, oh yeah, the kids were they were confunded.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
They didn't know what they were doing. It's like, yeah right, okay.
Okay, so on to
the movie. Thankfully, this movie list is not quite as long.
Good.
So I only came up with 3 here.
Okay.
I'm hoping it should be complete enough at least. But like I said, if I find more, I will definitely let you know. But
sure.
This is something that eventually I want to expand the Tales from Godric's Hollow website. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling this is something I'm going to put up there. Okay. Because, like I said, I could not find the list that I wanted anywhere.
Right.
So I'm getting. That's how I start websites. If I can't find exactly what I'm looking for, I find the information somehow, and then put it up there for other people who might be looking as well.
That's right. We can't be the only crazy ones out there.
Exactly.
All right, what do we got?
So the first one we have is another variation of Lumos, Lumos Maxima. So it's Lumos, you know how to spell that one, and then Maxima is just Maxima.
It is 2 words, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maximum light?
What's that?
Maximum light?
More or less. Specifically, we get the... it says shoots a ball of light at the pointed place if the wand is swung. So the first time you've seen it is... this is just Harry practicing under the covers.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to read the book, right?
Right.
But then when he does finally get it working at full power, the ball light shoots off when we get the opening credits.
Right.
So it's kind of weird.
Right.
But we do see this one used again, and we do specifically see a ball of light shoot off.
Okay.
Where they're pointing. So I can see why they give it that description and why it's still listed as a separate thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll run across it at least once more.
Sounds good.
But yeah, this was Harry, like I said, practicing under the covers.
Right. Got it.
Next we have Arresto Momentum.
Okay.
This is ARRESTO.
Okay.
And then Momentum. MOMENTUM.
Arresto Momentum.
So that one, once again, should be fairly self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Stopping
remember where
Momentum. Was that
yes.
the night bus?
No.
Nope,
this was once again actually during a Quidditch match.
Oh, okay.
This is where Harry falls off the broom.
Okay.
And he is saved by Dumbledore.
Okay.
We don't actually see him, but we hear him yelling it, and we see Harry slowing down.
Right.
So it's kind of weird. It's how they explain that one.
Sure. Dumbledore saving Harry.
Yeah, because I believe in the book we get it all from Harry's perspective,
right?
And Harry just passed out and fell off his broom,
right?
And so we don't really know what happened. But in the movie, we're seeing it from outside. We have a shot of Harry, and it's oh, he's falling, and it'd be weird to just have him black out and just
Right.
fall.
People will be like,
oh,
how did he not die?
yeah.
You are hundreds of feet up in the air, good sir.
So Dumbledore slowed him down,
Sure.
saved him. And then the final one we have for the third movie is Bombarda. This is BOM BARDA.
All right.
So we are back to Hermione. She uses this one to blast open the door, the prison gate that is holding Sirius.
Oh, okay.
At the end of the movie.
Okay.
So it says provokes a small explosion.
Okay.
I mean, she used it on the lock or the wall or whatever you want to say. In the book, this was Sirius was actually being held in Flitwick's office.
Right.
And so they just had to open the window.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they actually used Alohomora to open the window.
Yes.
But in the movie, this was way up in a tower in this weird prison cell that they just happened to have up there. And
which
so
honestly made a little bit more sense to hold a prisoner. Right.
Yes, but I don't know. I guess locking him in the office to the point where they had to use a spell to open the window, like that, because Alohomora. I'm trying to remember if we've learned this already or not, but it's not a big deal. So it's the counter charm to shoot. What is it called? It's the counter charm
To Lumos.
Anti-Alohomora. Where is it?
So something to lock something?
Exactly. The Coloportus.
All right.
So that, like, obviously haven't really had that one mentioned, or we haven't seen that used.
Sure.
But that is a locking spell,
Okay.
and then Alohomora is, I believe, is the only way to unlock something that has been locked with that spell.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So it kind of gives you the impression that, you know, that Dumbledore did take his precautions. He did lock the windows. He did lock the doors magically.
Yeah.
And so Sirius, without a wand, isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, I just feel like probably, like, movie-wise, though, like, it just was more visually understandable to the audience.
Yes, it is. But at the same time, when they're trying to be all sneaky...
Yeah, I know.
And trying to escape under the cover of night, it's like, yeah, let's make this big explosion.
Well, at that point, like, it's you know, you've already circled third base and you're running home, so
yeah,
you know, just go for it. You know, that's a lot of spells, Matt.
It is.
Covered a
I have
lot.
one more for you.
Oh, I thought that was it.
Book 4.
Oh no. Nope.
But it was in chapter 1.
Nope.
Or 2 or 3 or something.
Nope, because
Okay.
we'll probably do this again, and we'll cover more spells.
Okay.
So just for the sake of not having to backtrack or anything like that, we'll cover the full range of spells in Book 4, and maybe some
Fair
other
enough.
books along with it. So maybe we'll do 4 and 5, and then 6 and 7, something like that.
If that's your plan, that's fine by me.
I don't know. I don't know how many spells are going to be used, but yeah, let's... Just because we've read a couple chapters in Book 4 doesn't mean we're ready to start analyzing it to that extent, Matt.
All right.
Slow down. I can only ingest so many spells at once.
All right. Now have all those memorized by Monday.
With proper pronunciation and
Wand
else.
movement.
Ooh. See, that's an interesting comment there, because at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter...
Yep.
There are specific places you could go around the park where if you stand in the right place and you could activate things with your wand by saying a specific spell, and you'd be amazed how many like 5 and 6 year olds are running around that place pulling off spells perfectly.
It's true.
Quite impressive.
Well, I mean, I think you'd be amazed too that the wand movements are, for the most part, listed online.
I know. I'm just saying.
Like they're in the wiki and stuff,
Sure.
but like they have these things down.
Oh yeah, kids are smart, I guess. Regardless, Matt, thank you for this spell lesson tonight.
Glad I could help.
I hope everybody out there listening got some enjoyment out of it also. Again, share your spell books with us if you decided to go ahead and make one. How are you keeping notes? Definitely would like to see those, so share them with us. Let's have some fun with it. And like I said, maybe in a couple books after 4 and 5, maybe we'll revisit this again, depending on how many new spells we actually have. Like, there gets a point where I feel like we maybe not are going to be learning a whole bunch of new spells, but I don't know that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just talking now. I don't know what I'm saying. So this was fun. This was definitely fun. Again, thank you to Brent for that recommendation of actually doing this. He actually helped with the compiling of the list as well as Mel B. Both of them were a big help to Matt, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Which in turn was a big help to me. So thank you. We appreciate it. And if you have topics or anything that you think would be a fun conversation for Butterbeer Banter, let us know. Because we want to give you guys what you want to hear. So we always accept recommendations. Right, Matt?
We do.
All right. Well, we're going to go enjoy a weekend before we turn around and record the next episode of the show. For those of you listening early to this, be sure to have your reading done in a couple days. But if you're not listening to this early and you're listening to it after or right about the time when we are recording the next episode, I can only say that I hope you did your reading. I couldn't warn you ahead of time. I'm sorry. I'll do my best. You can find me personally on Twitter at The Noise with a Y. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Tales from GH. And then if you'd like to support us, like so many of you fantastic folks out there already have been doing, which allows us to do some amazing giveaways every month. It looks like we're going to be doing 4 giveaways next month, which is
fantastic.
Amazing. So sweet. You can support us over on Patreon, patreon.com/Tales from Godric's Hollow. Matt, where can people find you at?
You can get a hold of me personally on Twitter at As a Matter of Matt. Or if you want to get a hold of the show, something a little bit longer, keep it away from Josh, whatever the case may be, you can send me an email at talesfromgodricshollow@gmail.com.
Definitely. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed this round of Butterbeer Banter. Until next time, Muggle out.
Mischief managed.